In the heart of the American Old West, life was defined by resilience, ruggedness, and an unyielding spirit. The frontier was a place where survival often hinged on resourcefulness, and this was especially true when it came to personal hygiene and sanitation. Bathing and personal hygiene. Imagine a dusty, bustling frontier town. The streets are alive with the sounds of horses, merchants, and the chatter of townsfolk. Water is a precious commodity, and the luxury of a hot bath is something most can only dream of. In these times, a weekly bath was considered a significant indulgence. Families would often use a large metal tub placed in the middle of the room. The water, heated laboriously over a fire, was shared by all members of the household, usually starting with the youngest and cleanest. Soap, whether homemade or bought from a traveling salesman, was a staple. Homemade soap was made from lye and animal fat, a combination that could leave the skin feeling raw but clean. For those who could afford it, commercially produced soap was a sought-after luxury, softer and more pleasant to use. Clothing and laundry. In this world, laundry day was an all-hands-on-deck affair. Clothes were scrubbed vigorously on washboards in streams or rivers, using homemade soap. This process was not only time-consuming but physically demanding. Women and children would spend hours ensuring their families' clothes were as clean as possible, hanging them out to dry in the open air, often on makeshift lines strung between trees or on bushes. Sanitation. Sanitation, by modern standards, was rudimentary at best. Outhouses were the norm, simple wooden structures built over deep holes, offering little comfort but serving their basic purpose. In towns, public outhouses were common, but privacy was a luxury few could afford. Waste disposal posed a significant challenge. Garbage was often burned or buried, and in many cases, thrown into nearby rivers or open areas. This practice inevitably led to the spread of diseases. The lack of proper sanitation infrastructure meant that towns could quickly become breeding grounds for illnesses like cholera and dysentery. Public health. The specter of disease was a constant threat. Poor hygiene and sanitation practices led to frequent outbreaks of infectious diseases. Medical knowledge was limited, and access to professional health care was a luxury. Instead, many relied on home remedies and the knowledge of local healers or midwives. The arrival of a doctor in town was a significant event, and even then, medical treatments were basic and often ineffective by today's standards. Grooming. Barbershops, however, provided a semblance of modern grooming. These establishments were not just places for haircuts and shaves, but social hubs where men gathered to share news, gossip, and tall tales. A visit to the barber was both a practical necessity and a social ritual. For women, grooming was a more private affair, conducted at home. Hair was often washed with soap or homemade concoctions, and styles were kept simple and practical, reflecting the demands of daily life. Life in the Old West was hard, and hygiene was a daily challenge. Yet, amidst the dust and dirt, the people of the frontier displayed an incredible capacity for adaptation. They developed systems and routines that, while primitive, allowed them to maintain a semblance of cleanliness and order in an often chaotic environment. This world of rough living and hard-earned cleanliness shaped the character of the American frontier. It was a place where every drop of water, every bar of soap, and every moment spent in the river washing clothes was a testament to the indomitable spirit of the people who called the Old West their home.